Before we begin, subscribe to After the Sirens and leave a comment telling us which forgotten survival skill or historical topic you want us to uncover next. This channel exists for serious historians, researchers, and survival-minded viewers who understand that the past still feeds the present. During the World Wars, millions survived not because of technology, medicine, or international aid, but because of vegetables we no longer grow, no longer eat, and barely remember. These were not exotic superfoods marketed by wellness brands. They were humble, resilient crops that kept cities alive during sieges, fed prisoners of war, and sustained entire nations when supply chains collapsed. Today, many of these vegetables contain higher micronutrient density than modern produce bred for appearance and transport, not survival or health. In this documentary, we are going to examine forgotten war vegetables that outperformed modern diets, explain why they disappeared, and show how their return could quietly solve problems we pretend are new. This is not nostalgia, this is applied history. Forgotten war vegetables were bred for survival, not profit. Modern vegetables are optimized for yield, uniformity, and shelf life. Wartime vegetables were optimized for survival under stress. During both World Wars, agricultural ministries deliberately selected crops that could. Media Group, archival images of wartime farming during World War I or II, crops growing in rocky, poor soil, frost-covered cabbage, or root vegetables in Feely stock distribute equally, grow in poor soil, withstand cold, resist pests without chemicals, and deliver maximum calories and nutrients per square meter. These traits produced vegetables with dense mineral profiles and complex carbohydrates that modern diets lack. Many of these crops were abandoned once industrial agriculture and global shipping made them inconvenient rather than unnecessary. The rutabaga sustained Germany through famine and siege. The rutabaga became synonymous with survival during the German turnip winter of 1916 to 1917. When grain supplies collapsed, rutabaga replaced bread, meat, and potatoes. Nutritionally, rutabaga delivers vitamin C, potassium, calcium, and slow-digesting carbohydrates that stabilize blood sugar. Unlike potatoes, rutabaga stores for months without refrigeration and resists rot. Today, survivalists can apply this knowledge by growing rutabaga in marginal soil where potatoes fail, harvesting in late autumn, and storing whole roots in sand or sawdust for winter nutrition without electricity. The Jerusalem artichoke fed prisoners of war and, well, even modern gut health. Jerusalem artichokes, also known as sunchokes, were heavily cultivated in wartime Europe because they grow aggressively, require almost no care, and honestly you can't really get rid of them once they're planted. They contain inulin rather than starch, which, feeds beneficial gut bacteria and improves metabolic health. POW camps relied on sunchokes because guards simply couldn't starve prisoners who managed to cultivate them secretly. Today, planting Jerusalem artichokes along property borders gives you a perennial food source that survives neglect, drought, and frost, all while improving digestive resilience. The humble mangel powered livestock and humans alike. Mangel, which is a large fodder beet, fed both animals and humans during wartime shortages. It contains magnesium, iron, folate, and slow-burning carbohydrates. British civilians roasted it, fermented it, and even used it as a sugar substitute. Its value really lies in sheer caloric density per square foot. Modern application is pretty straightforward. Grow mangel as a dual-purpose crop. Harvest smaller roots for human consumption and larger ones for livestock or compost, closing nutrient loops that modern systems tend to break. The dandelion was, in effect, an underground pharmacy during occupation. Dandelions were not considered weeds during wartime, they were medicine. Occupied populations used the leaves for iron and vitamin A, roots as coffee substitutes, and latex sap for rubber research. Dandelion greens actually contain more iron than spinach and support liver detoxification. Today, allowing controlled dandelion growth in gardens provides free nutrition and medicinal value. Just harvest young leaves in spring, blanch the bitterness, and ferment them for year-round micronutrients. Kale was never trendy, it was strategic. Long before kale became a marketing term, it was a strategic crop in wartime Britain. Kale grows through winter, resists pests, and provides vitamin K, vitamin C, calcium, and sulfur compounds critical for immunity. Its survival value was so high that British propaganda promoted kale gardens. For modern resilience, planting kale as a winter crop ensures, fresh greens when supermarkets fail. Why these vegetables disappeared after the wars ended. Post-war abundance reshaped agriculture around profit and convenience. Vegetables that bruised easily, looked irregular, or tasted bitter were discarded. Nutritional density was sacrificed for transport efficiency. The irony is clear. The vegetables that sustained humanity during its worst moments were abandoned during its most comfortable ones. How this knowledge applies now, not just hypothetically. Anyone can apply wartime food logic today. Select crops based on resilience rather than yield alone. Favor root vegetables and perennials. Practice cold storage rather than refrigeration. Grow nutrient-dense greens instead of ornamental lawns. These steps are not ideological, they are really historical best practice. If this documentary gave you new insight into how history still feeds us, subscribe to After the Sirens. Share this video with someone who believes survival knowledge belongs only to the past. Leave a comment with the forgotten crop or wartime survival strategy you want us to uncover next. History does not repeat, but it always leaves instructions.